Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela. And she went through the green card K1 visa process just like you guys. She had her scary visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, South America on November 16th, 2023. And we flew to Miami from El Dorado International Airport in Colombia, in Bogota. We flew to Miami. I rented an SUV and drove home here to the Panhandle of Florida. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. Okay? I don't work for USCIS. I don't work for any of those companies that charge you an arm and a leg to process a simple green card, K1 visa or spousal visa application. I don't do that. It's totally free here. I've got 10 years of experience in processing K1 visas and green cards. 10 years I've been doing this. I've helped hundreds of people, and I'm glad to do it. Now, we have Dina Ali. Hi, Diego and Karina. I hope you guys are doing well. We are great, Dina. We're doing good. How long does it take for the green card process? It takes about 9 months, Dina, from the day when you go to the biometrics. So you go to the biometrics, they take your fingerprints, they take your picture, and then you sign your full name. That's biometrics. Karina had her biometrics in New Orleans. We live in Florida. Depends on where you live or depend on where you have your biometrics. And it takes about 9 months after the biometrics, okay? Hopefully less time than that, but right now it's about 9 months. Uno Mikey, I'm in Orlando with my Colombian queen. Uno Mikey gets the first Mountain Dew salute of the day. Uno Mikey is in Orlando. Now, Orlando is in Florida, and Orlando is in Orange County. Okay, Orange County. There are 67 counties in Florida, and we live in a county in northern Florida, and Uno Mikey is in Orange County. Mountain Dew salute. Now, do you know why they call it Orange County in Orlando? Because that's where all the oranges are pretty much made there. All the orange trees are down there in Orlando, so they called it Orange County. Vimy Lola, hello both. How are you? We got married today. Well, that's another Mountain Dew salute. So Vimy got married. Now you know what that means, right? You know what that means, right? There you go. Mountain Dew salute. Mountain Dew doesn't pay me to promote Mountain Dew. I just like Mountain Dew. You got to start working on your 10-year green card and your 2-year green card. You're going to need to get certified copies from the courthouse of Vimy Lola of your marriage certificate. You want to get at least 5 certified copies from the clerk of the court. You're going to need a certified copy for your 2-year green card application. You're going to need a certified copy for your 10-year green card application. You're going to need a certified copy for your U.S. citizenship application. So that's 3 right there. Plus a copy for yourself and a backup copy in case immigration lose one. So you want to get 5 certified copies of your marriage certificate and start putting together your 2-year green card application. But don't forget your 10-year green card too. 2 years is going to go by pretty quick. Karina's been in the United States almost a year. Almost a year went by already. And soon she's in a year and a few months, she's going to be applying for her 10-year green card. We already got evidence like this. But good job, Vimy Lola, for getting married today. GLK Dog 01. Hey, Diego, my Form I-485. I got an RFE in August, but send the paper back on September, and it's more than 90 days. So you got an RFE, so they're just basically processing it. If you get an RFE, it's not going to be quick, okay? The goal is not to get an RFE when you file for the green card. You want to get it without an RFE, all right? Let's see here. Uno Mikey, Vimy Lola, time to start the process. That's right. It's time to start collecting evidence for the process. You got to start collecting evidence for your 2-year green card. Uno Mikey, how long will it take for my wife's Social Security and green card to come? By the way, I did a spousal visa. Right, you did a. So you came in under a CR1, which is a conditional residency 1 visa for spouse. It's going to take about 6 to 9 months to get that green card, and it's going to take about 2 weeks, 10 days to get the Social Security number. It comes from Baltimore, Maryland, by the way. The Social Security numbers, they get mailed to you from Baltimore, Maryland. Claire and Madsen vlogs. Hello, a lawyer told me I need to include my kids and part of my household as part of my household, even though they don't live with me, and I don't claim them on my taxes. By a 24-hour calculator, they spend less than 80 days a year with me. Well, they're not part of your household. If they don't live with you, if they live with somebody else, they're part of that other person's household. They're not part of your household. Okay? Your household size is who lives with you under your roof. That's your household size. Okay? So the lawyer is saying, you got to include your kids as part of my household, even though they don't live with me. Well, and I don't claim them on my taxes either. By a 24-hour calculator, they spend less than 80 days a year with me. Okay, well, if the lawyer is telling you to include them, then I would include them. Okay, that would be my advice, even though they're, in my opinion, they're not part of your household. But if your lawyer is saying they are part of your household, then go ahead and include them. But I don't see why. Okay, honestly, I don't see why. If it was me, I wouldn't. But, immigration attorneys said they went to school for this. So I would go with that person's advice on that. Although I don't see why. You need to ask here's the thing, right? If you married somebody from a foreign country and they came to the United States and you got them a green card, then you divorced them, and they still lived in the United States, but they didn't live with you anymore, they married somebody else, you still have to include them as part of your financial obligation. Okay? So maybe the attorney is coming from that direction. He's coming from that angle. Okay? So I would ask him why. I would give him a call and ask him why to include them. Because in reality, they're not part of your household. MB, hello, my wife only has her work permit, no green card. We live in New Jersey. Can we travel to Vegas? Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. The work permit should be good for 5 years. Okay, the work permit should be good for 5 years. You can travel from New Jersey to Las Vegas on her passport, on her work permit. Okay, you can do that, no problem at all. But you make sure you carry the I-94 and the work permit with you, and she will travel. She'll use her passport as her travel document. She doesn't have her green card yet. So Claire and Madsen vlogs. A lawyer told me to include my kids as part of my household, even though they don't live with me. You want to call that immigration attorney up and ask him why that is. Dina, so do I fill out the green card application and send the sponsor paperwork? Then I need to do the 693. After, what do I need to do? Dina, I made a video on how to adjust status. I made a video on how to adjust status for your green card. Watch the video and it explains everything. You say here, send the sponsor papers. You don't have to, you don't, if you're in the United States of America and you got married and you're living together, why would you want to send your sponsor papers? That doesn't make any sense. And you do need to do the I-693. The medical exam needs to be done over as of December 2nd, 2024. It is mandatory you include a new medical exam or vaccination certification for your green card application. Okay? But you're telling me you have to send the sponsor papers. I'm taking that to mean that you guys aren't living together. What do I need to do? What do you need to do? You need to get a 693 from the civil surgeon, signed off, put it in a sealed envelope, and put it in your green card application. And your sponsor has to sign the affidavit of support, the 484. And you have to sign the 485. And the doctor has to sign the 693. Let me see. Tammy, hi Diego, what do you think will happen if I send my 485 without a joint lease and having a difficult time getting my husband added to my lease because they won't add him without a state ID? Well, you have the landlord write an affidavit stating that very reason. Your landlord needs to state right on the property manager of yours where you live. Do you have a property manager or a landlord? You said a landlord, right? They just got to write an affidavit saying that you guys are living together and you can't add him to the lease until you get your state ID or your green card. So what will happen? Tammy, you got to get the landlord to write a letter explaining that they won't add him without a state ID. Just have him write a letter explaining that and have him sign it. And then that's evidence that you guys are living together without being on the lease, because the property manager or the landlord is explaining why he won't add you. Ajali, hey Diego and Karina, happy Saturday. What's going on, Ajali? How's your family today? Tammy, Broward County won't issue one because his I-94 expires this month, and they said I need a receipt notice for the I-485. Well, you cannot submit the I-485 and get a receipt notice for it without proving you guys are living together. So you live in Broward County. I don't know, that's South Florida. They do things a little differently in South Florida. Just have your landlord write a letter saying that you cannot be added to the lease agreement without a green card or a state ID. And you can't get that until you file for the green card. And then you'll get a receipt notice for the I-485. But I understand where they're coming from. Claire and Madsen Vlogs, just me and my husband. I started a new job in September, working full time. So now my annual income with my child support will be over 50K. So I don't know why they sent it. You don't know why who sent what? I don't know why they sent it. You don't know why who sent what? The RFE? You and your husband started a new job. Well, it sounds like he started a new job in September. So that was pretty early. That wasn't very long ago. So what they're saying is he needs to be they want to see at least a 1 full year of work. Okay. Immigration want to see 12 months of work. And if you should be able to prove that income with pay stubs, a letter from the boss, etc. But like I said, after December 2nd, immigration is clamping down on income. Okay, they're clamping down. They want to see 12 months worth of income at a minimum to see you qualify. So my advice would be to get a joint sponsor if immigration is asking for a joint sponsor. Is that what they're asking for? Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois in upstate New York. What's going on, Francois? Right here at 63 degrees here in the Panhandle of Florida. It was a nice sunny day, nice and warm. It was a real nice day today. Naya, hi Diego. I'm happy finally I'm here on the live stream. Been waiting this day to thank you. I am now in the USA. I followed your advice and been following you since 2022. I arrived 3 weeks ago. Mountain Dew salute to Naya. And Naya is in Wisconsin. Well, welcome to the United States. And I'm glad we were able to help bring you here for free. Well, not for free. You had to buy the plane ticket and pay the visa fees, but you didn't have to pay an immigration attorney. Mountain Dew salute to Naya. Welcome to Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, in that part of the United States is the dairy country. It's dairy. That's where they got all the cows and they make all the milk for everybody. And we're glad you're here, Naya. Claire and Madsen Vlogs, I should say what my projected annual income once I worked there for a year. Right. You got to prove it, though. And you should be able to prove that with pay stubs and with a letter from the boss saying, this is your annual income. There's ways to prove income, pay stubs, bank statements, letters from the boss. Get the bank statements, highlight the direct deposits going into the bank. Tammy, property management. Thank you. I will ask them. Right. I was a real estate agent for a long time. I had a real estate license. It's expired now. I didn't bother renewing it. Okay. I'm retired, basically. I do this and I do stuff around the house. But I had a real estate license and people were offering me jobs to be a property manager, blah, blah. I said, no, I don't want to do that. But here's the thing. To be a property manager, you got to have a real estate license, number one. But number two, a property manager can write a letter on the letterhead of the apartment complex and say that you guys are living together. You guys are living together, but you cannot be added to the lease yet until you get a state ID or your green card. And you cannot get your green card until you file for your green card. So it just so happens that in the county you live in, that's a requirement from that property manager. And it's basically, they're just trying to protect themselves from illegal immigration. Okay. But that, Tammy, just go to the property manager and say, hey, please, can you write me a letter, an affidavit on letterhead saying that you are living together at this address. Okay. That's not asking them to put you on the lease. That's just saying that you guys are living together and they are attesting to that. Claire and Madsen Vlogs, then annual income that I mentioned at 50K will be enough for my husband and I. Sure. $50,000 is enough. Yeah. More than enough for a family of two. You're a family of two. I don't know what this attorney is saying. You got to add these other people. They don't even live with you. The only time you would have to add somebody to your household income is if they are a green card holder you brought over to the United States and then you got divorced and they never returned back to their home country. They stayed in America. They have a green card. They are still your financial responsibility, even if you are divorced. But that doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply. But ask the attorney and say, hey, why do I got to do that? Ask him why. Matt Berner. Hey, Diego and Karina, we are still waiting for the green card. I just picked my wife up from the work. Feliz Sábado. Happy Saturday to Matt Berner. Yep, good job on picking your wife up from work. So Matt Berner is conduce para esposa. Francois Livingston, it's frigid cold, 4 degrees. Now, Francois, it's 4 degrees where you are, right? So you got to keep the water on a little drip, 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 because you don't want your pipes to freeze at night, right? You don't want them to freeze. But when Hamid gets his green card, with your education and your skills, you should probably think about getting the heck out of New York State and moving somewhere that's more tax-friendly. Nevada, Texas, Florida, they're all tax-friendly states, okay? That's what I would do. I'd get the heck out of New York State. But wait till he gets his green card. Don't move until he gets his 2-year green card. Claire and Madsen Vlogs, they want more proof of income or a second sponsor. My proof of employment letter includes what my projected income will be. Here's the thing, okay? What they want to see is pay stubs. That's what they go by. Bank statements and pay stubs. Letters from bosses of projected income is not included. They won't accept that, but they will accept pay stubs. Okay? And my recommendation would be to get a second sponsor. Just get a joint sponsor. Say, look, I need you to help me out just so I can get this freaking green card. And then we can start work. My beneficiary can start work, and then we're good to go. But my beneficiary can't start work till I get the green card. And I can't get the green card because I need a joint sponsor. But as soon as I get the green card, then I can go to get a job. And then when you apply for the 10-year green card, you don't need a joint sponsor. You see what I'm saying? Dina Alley, my friend is the sponsor and you don't work. Okay, well, that's all good. You don't have to work. But Dina, when you do start working in America, or if you don't work, so you don't work, right? Your friend is the sponsor, right? Okay, I got you. Tammy, thank you so much. No problem, Tammy. I'm helping you guys, okay? I'm getting you through this. Immigration want a letter from the property manager. Yeah, you live together. You've been together since this date, and you will be added to the lease as soon as you receive the green card. Boom. And then that's evidence that you guys are living together, which would be acceptable instead of putting his name on the lease. Claire and Manson Vlogs, just get a joint sponsor. Just get a joint sponsor. Dina Alley, my friend makes 25 grand a year. Is that good? It's not good for enough. It's not enough money. No, it's not enough money. You're going to need a joint sponsor. $25,000 a year is not enough money, even for a family of two. It's not enough money for a family of two. You need a joint sponsor. Naya, how long does it take to get a social security card for a new applicant? About 10 days. Francois, it's -4 degrees. I would love to move. -4. Minus, I read it wrong. I read it as 4 degrees. It's -4 degrees. Francois, it's 63 degrees here. I don't need the AC. I don't need the heat. I'm in a t-shirt. What's going on? Get out of New York. They tax you, and then they freeze you to death. And then and then your pipes get frozen. And then your car won't start because the engine's cold. Get out of there. When Hamid gets his green card, start planning on moving somewhere else. If you can live in upstate New York with your qualifications, you can live in Florida with your qualifications, and you'll make more money, and you'll have less taxes to pay. Benny Yao is in the house. Hello, Diego and Karina. So happy to see you again. Well, hello, Benny Yao. I filed my Form I-485 and waiting for the green card. Okay. Apparently, there won't be an interview. Well, good. We're at step 4. Well, I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute, Benny Yao, for step 4, because you probably watched the videos I made on how to apply for a green card, right? You watched the adjustment of status videos I made. So you know how to do this. You learned how to do it. Mountain Dew salute. And because you learned how to do it, you're going to just breeze right through this process. So good to see Benny Yao. Now, Benny Yao, I'm trying to think. Didn't you fly? Where's your wife from? Was she from the Ivory Coast or Sierra Leone? I think it's one of those countries right there. Francois Livingston, Karina, pregunta para ti. ¿Te gusta tu trabajo? She said she's working a lot and te gusta, and she likes her job. She likes her job, Francois. She said she likes working a lot. I told you, when I was in Colombia, living with Karina was the manager of a couple of ice cream stores, okay? Now, but Karina has a degree in tax accounting. She knows how to handle money, okay? But she has managerial skills. So she was running these 2 businesses for her friend, and they didn't want to see her leave Colombia because she was the glue holding the companies together. She started work here in the United States, and she'd only been there for 3 months, and they were already putting her up for employee of the quarter. And she just got there. She's a workhorse, okay? And we're also Karina's also got this coffee company coming together. She's putting this coffee company together. So I tell you what, she's just nonstop. So she's putting this coffee company together. So she's going to be distributing her own coffee from Colombia. How about that? We got these connections with these coffee farms. Let's see here. Francois, how's your work doing? She loves it, Francois. Abduli Jallo, hi Diego, greetings to you watching from the United Arab Emirates. A salute to our friends and Abduli in the United Arab Emirates. And I tell you what, we're talking about Syria. It's good to see that the Syrians are getting some freedom back. Okay, so hopefully the U.S. Embassy will be able to reopen in Syria. Hopefully, we don't know. We'll see. But all the Russians are leaving Syria. You know, the Russians that went in there and said, we're going to run this country. But while they were tied up fighting in the Ukraine, they took their eyes off the ball in Syria. And now Syria is becoming a free country, I think. I don't know. Let's hope so for the people of Syria. Thousands of people have been released from prison, in Syrian jails. And the president of Syria, Assad, his butt was put on a plane and flew to Russia. So I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, but if the Syrian people are happy, I'm happy for Syria, okay? And the United States needs to keep its nose out of their freaking business. I'm serious. We got to keep our noses out of these people's businesses, Iraq, Syria, etc. But I'm happy for the people of Syria. They seem happy. What we need to do now is we want to see Maduro on a plane flying to Russia, in Venezuela. We got to get rid of that communist out of Venezuela and put him on a plane and flying to Moscow. Or maybe Siberia. Maybe Putin should make him ambassador to Siberia. Let's see here. So we got a good news for Abdullah watching us from the beautiful UAE. Naya, they told me 4 weeks for a new applicant. It took 7 days for Karina to get her Social Security card. Ivory Coast. I was right the first time. Binny Yao. I was right the first time. Ivory Coast. And if I remember, Binny Yao, you called us. You called into the live stream from John F. Kennedy International Airport in Queens, New York, when you were flying to the Ivory Coast. If I remember, you called in from the airport. Naya, for a Social Security card, it shouldn't take but 10 days. Francois Livingston, I called HR the other day and requested an official letter showing that Hamid is on my medical, health, and dental plan. Good. 1 hour later, I got it in my email. So I printed it and added it to the Mile High Papers. Francois, you are top of the class today. Good job, Francois, because you know the number one thing immigration look for on a green card application, besides income, the number one thing they look for is, does your beneficiary from the foreign country have health insurance? They look for that. Mountain Dew salute to Francois. First thing I did was put Karina on my health insurance. And that went in the green card application. Okay. They look for income. They look for health insurance. They want to see the marriage certificate. So what are the mandatory forms that you must include in the green card application? Well, number one is the marriage certificate. Okay. The biographic page of the U.S. citizen's passport. The biographic page of the beneficiary's passport. Not the whole freaking passport. Don't make a copy of the whole passport. They don't care about, they want to see the biographic page. The picture, the signature, and the expiration date. The I-94, pictures of the wedding, pictures of the honeymoon, about 40, 50 pictures. You can include pictures from when you started dating. Like we started dating, we started out in 2021, and we had 4 years worth of pictures. The stronger your green card application, the less chance you're going to have to go for a repeat visa interview, okay? Claire and Manson Vlogs, does a second sponsor need to be working? The only person I can think to ask is retired. You can ask a retired person as long as their income is taxable. So if you know somebody that's retired and they make pretty good money from retirement and it's taxable income, you can use that person, okay? Tammy, how do you assemble the pictures? You assemble the pictures for the green card application in document protectors. Go to Office Depot. Go to Office Depot, buy a binder. Buy a binder, and get about 200 document protectors. You put all your green card evidence in the document protectors and put them in the binder. Now, immigration, and some people say, well, don't use document protectors, don't use binders. Use document protectors and use binders, okay? Your green card application is going to sit on a shelf somewhere for maybe a month or 2 weeks or whatever. And it's going to be mailed via UPS, FedEx, or DHL. You want to protect that information from rain, from damage. You got to protect it. Get your pictures and put them in order of when you started dating. Like Corinne and I, we put pictures in there for the first day we met up with each other, dates we went on, trips we went on. We went to Cucuta near Venezuela. I put my foot into Venezuela. I think I did. I was just messing with the immigration folks. You know, I was an illegal immigrant in Venezuela for about 2 seconds. But you put all of them together in document protectors in order. You want to establish a relationship development. Picture A to picture Z. 40 to 50 pictures, about 20 pictures of the wedding and the honeymoon, if you went on a honeymoon. Francois Livingston, I still don't know how to go about the blood test for TB, stressing me out. Blood test for TB. Okay, that's going to be homework for me. I'm going to get on it for you, Francois. Okay, tomorrow. Maybe tonight. Tomorrow, tonight, I'll check it out for you, okay? I'll get on it for you, Francois, and help you. Claren Manson vlogs. He's retired military officer. That's taxable retirement unless it's disability. I'm retired military, okay? My retirement check from the Navy is taxable. So the U.S. government taxpayers pay me because of my 20 years that I put in, and then I return some of that money back to the federal government in the form of a tax return. And every year I always pay frickin' taxes. So Joe Biden, Uncle Biden's enjoying vacations because I'm paying for them. And let's see. I heard Nancy Pelosi. I heard she broke her hip in Belgium, Luxembourg. What the heck was she doing in Luxembourg? Why are we taxpayers buying plane tickets for frickin' Nancy Pelosi to fly to Luxembourg? Why did she go there? And she said because she went to support the military. Well, the military I know don't even like her. They think she's just a hack. I don't know of any military person that likes Nancy Pelosi. So she got a free freaking vacation. That's all she went for. She went on a boondoggle, and now she broke her hip, which is unfortunate. It's sad to hear that she broke her hip. Okay, but karma is karma. Let me see. Yeah, retired military officer income is taxable. So that would be more than enough money to cover you as a joint sponsor. Tammy, wait a second. Francois, do I make a copy of Hamid's passport page showing the 90-day stamp? Yes, Francois, you do. You take a picture of it with your phone, download it to your computer in a PDF file, edit it, make it nice and pretty, rotate it, and print it, and put it in the green card application for Hamid. Tammy, okay, I used the binder with document protector for the K1, and you're going to do the same thing for the green card. Whatever you did for the K1, you do the same thing for the green card application. I recommend everybody, because immigration, they get all these binders and they get these document protectors. They pull all your documents out. Everything's in order. You got a cover sheet. Immigration can see what's in the binder from the cover sheet. They go into it. They pull the documents out. They copy and scan them. And then they got binders and document protectors they can bring home to their kids so their kids can use them for school projects. Because once you mail in the binders, they belong to immigration. So hopefully the binders go to good use. They don't throw them in the trash. Okay? But use a binder and document protectors because it will protect the documents while they're traveling and while they're in storage, waiting for processing. Francois, thank you. Big thank you to you both. No problem, Francois. Reminder, yo no olvide ayuda a Francois. Busca América para tuberculosis sangre. I told Karina, she reminds me. We're going to get on it for you, Francois. Ajali, just an update. My fiance had his medical last week. Okay. His biometrics is on Tuesday. And of course, the interview is on the 24th. Ajali. It's the day before Christmas. So very good. Mountain Dew salute. Francois, on this one step closer to being reunited with your fiance, Ajali. Super happy for you. And Francois, thank you, Karina. Gracias para ti. Huh? And she said she won't forget. We're going to help you get with that TB thing down, okay, for the blood test. Because Hamid's going to have to get it for his vaccination, okay? I can't believe the civil surgeon isn't giving you directions on how to get this done. You know, when I took Karina for her medical exam. I scanned Karina's vaccination records to the doctor's assistant, and the doctor's assistant said, well, she's going to need to get this TB blood test done and this other blood test done. And they told her where to go to get it done. I'm like, okay. We went and got it done. So I guess that's living in upstate New York isn't so good, Francois. The freaking administrative assistant doesn't want to do the 693, if I remember. They said you had to fill it out, which is not correct because it's a legal document. So anyway, Francois, we're going to get Hamid his green card, okay? Relax. Ajali says, thank you, Kareem. Thank you, Francois. Larry Piercy, sorry I'm late. How, Larry, listen, you're never late, okay? You are an excellent person that uses your time efficiently. So when I was in the Navy and somebody said I was late, I said, I'm never late. I use my time wisely. Ajali, just because. Look at that super chat from Ajali. Thank you. We appreciate you, Ajali. Just because we're here for you guys. We're here for you, okay? I'm scratching my head over this Madsen vlogs in this household size. Larry Piercy, you're not late. You are here. Tammy, my husband did his medical today for vaccine needed and blood work. Okay, that's good. As of this, now I've been saying to you guys for over a year, repeat the medical exam when you get to the United States. Repeat the 693. Redo the vaccinations. Get them recertified. Don't redo them, but recertify the vaccinations that you have. And some people listened to me and some people didn't. Those people that didn't listen to me, I will get in RFEs. Where's your medical exam? But if you go to the USCIS website in the past, it said you didn't need to do it because you just got one overseas, right? But from my experience of immigration, I know how they operate. Some immigration officers were looking for medical exams and some were not. So I always told you guys to go ahead and repeat the medical exam because I knew in the back of my head, eventually it was going to become a mandatory document. And lo and behold, December 2nd, 2024, they made it mandatory. So to all those folks that listened to me and paid the extra for the medical exam, I bet you're glad you listened to me now, right? Because you're not getting an RFE. Ajali, thank you for that super chat, Ajali. Larry Piercy, I was changing the air in the tires, taking Mogi to Orlando on December 25th. Now listen up, Larry. You're taking your beautiful bride, Moji, from Thailand to Disney World during Christmas week when all the kids are on vacation. All the children, they're not kids. All the children are on vacation around the world. And what do? They all converge on Disney World on December 25th and December 26th. So Moji is going to be surrounded by millions and millions of children, all waiting in line to go fly mission space. Larry, no, someplace better. Oh, so you've changed your mind. Larry Piercy, have heard nothing except got my RFE answered. Now you're good, Larry. Just wait. You just wait. Listen, I'm going to take Karina to Disney World, okay? But it's not going to be during Christmas week when all the children are on vacation. Okay, we love children. We got no problem. But we don't want to spend 3 hours waiting in line to ride a ride. Karina wants to get on Space Mountain and ride Space Mountain, but she wants to not spend a 3 hour in line and wait. Okay, but Karina says hello to Morgie, okay? Harold A., if I'm waiting for my wife's work permit, can she apply to get her driver's license? I'm in California. Harold, if you're in California, I think they're giving driver's licenses away in cornflakes packets. I think Governor Newsom is giving away driver's licenses in cornflake packets. Harold A., I'm not sure about California. I would say contact the DMV and ask them. maybe they'll issue, in California, they're so lax, okay? They're so lackadaisical on government issued identification cards, including driver's licenses. She can probably get it, in my opinion, but I'd contact the DMV. The DMV, I don't, in California, I think she'll probably be able to get it as long as she has an I-94. Larry Piercy, correct. Larry Piercy, Moggy just walked in and says hi to Karina. Maggie entra en tu casa. Hola, Karina.
Hello.
And Karina says, hello, Moggy. Okay, thank you, says Harold A. Yeah. In California, they have different rules. Every state's got their own rules on how they issue government-issued IDs, okay? And the federal government, after 9/11, they came out with this real ID. And they told the states, you got to have to change all your driver's licenses over to this real ID. Well, number one, it's unconstitutional because the federal government does not control state IDs. And a driver's license is a state ID. So the federal government in Washington, D.C., under the 10th Amendment, has got zero authority to tell the states that you have to change your system of processing driver's licenses. But they do have the authority not to let people on airplanes or get into government buildings without a driver's license that hasn't been adjudicated as a real ID. In Florida, a Florida driver's license that's been adjudicated as a real ID, they have a little gold star on the driver's license, okay? Now, the Constitution says the federal government cannot control a Florida driver's license. But federal law says because if the federal government controls the FAA, they can stop people getting on planes with a Florida driver's license if it's not a real ID. You'd have to get on a plane with your passport. So to make it easy to fly, you can go and get the state ID through real ID, but they can't make you do it. Okay? Remember, in the United States of America, we're under constitutional law. We run under, our country runs under a constitution, and the federal government exists only by the virtue of the states letting them exist. Okay? When Biden got kicked out of office, okay, and Kamala Harris lost her presidential seat because they were running the country like a freaking dictatorship, like a communist country. You can't do that. And the American people said, you can't do that. So they got fired, and Trump's now the president-elect, okay? But it's just some food for thought for people coming to the United States from a foreign country. If you're coming to America for the first time and you don't know anything about our government, you're going to need to know about it for the U.S. citizenship test, okay? But the federal government exists because the states let them. You got 50 states, and they all let Washington, D.C. exist, okay? That's how it works. Washington, D.C., under Biden and Kamala Harris, they started running things like a centralized communist government. Well, Americans don't like that. You don't tell me what to do in Florida from Washington. So they got fired, and Trump is president-elect. Larry Piercy, how's Franny doing? Still having problems. Larry's asking, how is Francois doing? She's not having any problems, Larry. She is good to go. Okay? We are going to help her get Hamid his green card. We're going to work on that tonight or probably tomorrow. I'll work on that tomorrow. Okay? Because Queen's got to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning for work. So she's going to go and get some sleep. But I'll find out and help Francois get that done. It's not going to be difficult. In fact, it'll be something for me to do tomorrow. But we're going to put pixie dust on everybody. Now, Larry doesn't like pixie dust, but now Larry's on the chat. I'm going to put pixie dust out there because we're going to get you. See if Larry gets irritated. But a Mountain Dew salute to everybody, too. And the weather's pretty good. Karina's like, the weather's not too bad. In Bogota, Colombia, it's probably raining. It's probably 30, 40 degrees. Because we're up in the mountains when we were in Bogota. Well, it's like 10,300 feet above sea level. I lived in Bogota for 2.5 years. Tell me about it. I was sick a lot. Mountain sickness. I got the flu. What a pity party, right? Okay, what questions do we have on green cards? Green cards are taking 9 months to 10 months to process. Where do green cards come from when they get adjudicated? They come from Corbin, Kentucky. They will be mailed to you. If you watch the videos I've made on how to adjust status, and you do exactly what I tell you, There's 9 times out of 10 chance you won't have to go for another interview. And they mail you the green cards from Corbin, Kentucky. The same for the work permit. It gets mailed to you from Corbin, Kentucky. If you don't quite make enough money, get a joint sponsor. Well, it's hard to get a joint sponsor. Okay, we'll explain to the joint sponsor, look, this is just temporary. I need for you to just help me temporarily to get my green card, help me get my wife's green card, and then she can go to work. And then when we file a tax return next year, our income will be doubled, right? And then you don't need a joint sponsor anymore. That's how you pass it. That's how you explain it. It's just temporary. And then also, when your beneficiary becomes a U.S. citizen, the joint sponsor is no longer responsible for the beneficiary. Zero. Let me see. Larry, I'm going to write Christy Noem, the new USCIS secretary, and make a few suggestions, like pages of suggestions. 300 pages of suggestions. Look, Larry Piercy, instead of doing that, why don't you focus on planning a nice vacation for you and Margie? Okay? Because the secretary of USCIS is not going to read a 300-page thesis on how to change USCIS. Because number one, the Congress is the one that makes the rules, not the secretary of USCIS. The USCIS secretary works for the Congress, okay? Who works for us? And you want to write a 300-page PhD thesis. Don't do it. Why didn't you plan 5 pages of what you're going to do on vacation with Margie? And I would not recommend going to Disney World during Christmas week, okay? Because it's going to be packed with kids, children. There's going to be no room for people other than children getting on rides. Larry Piercy, or go in the coffee business. Well, yeah, Karina's made a lot of inroads in putting a coffee business together. We went to a coffee farm in Chowchee, Colombia. We spent a whole day learning how the coffee business works, from the plants to the beans to how they dry the coffee, how they wash the coffee, the beans I'm talking about, and then how they separate the bad beans from the good beans, and then you get the Primo Supremo coffee, and that goes over here, and we learned the whole thing, the whole process, and then we learned how it gets the best stuff, gets the best coffee beans. You can either grind them down into a roast, or you can bag them as roast or beans, and then you can call them organic if you want to. But we learned the whole thing. We learned the whole process, and I made a video about it too. I got a video out there somewhere on this channel about Karina and I when we went to a coffee farm in Chowchee, and so we got a company. We got a distributor that's gonna ship coffee for us, for Karina's company, from Medellin to New York to Florida. So we're gonna get it from Medellin, we're gonna get it processed in New York, and then we're gonna have it sell it here in Florida. And it's what's interesting about selling coffee is you just got to put what's in the coffee bag and and how much is in there. 12 ounces, 16 ounces, etc. plus grams. 12 ounces are 340 grams, right? So you got to put that on the coffee bag. Larry Piercy, don't cook the rice. No, I'm telling you what we've done. We've already put the heat on it. It's already in process. We've already got this thing rolling. What octane? It's what do you mean, what octane? It's real coffee. What octane? Roasted. We're going to sell roasted coffee, okay? Strong from Medellin. That's where it's going to come from. Strong from Medellin, right? The coffee farm that we're getting the coffee from is in Medellin, not in Chowchee. Medellin sends it to New York. They process it for us and then put it together, and then we'll talk about it more. But this is the channel for K1 visas and green cards. So come on, what questions do you have? If your income is not sufficient, get a joint sponsor. Tell the joint sponsor, I just need you to help me out because then when she gets a job or he gets a job, then we'll have when our tax returns go in for the next round for the 10-year green card, we won't need you. When the beneficiary becomes a U.S. citizen, you don't need a joint sponsor for anymore. Okay. Put a strong green card package together. Put pictures in there from when you first started dating all the way up to your wedding plus beyond. Karina mailed in her green card application on February 29th, 2024. On February 28th, 2024, we went up to this little tiny country town in North Florida near Alabama, and we took a bunch of pictures there. So Karina had pictures in her green card application February 28th. She filed for her green card February 29th. It took 3 months and 2 weeks to get her green card, but her green card application was this thick. We had evidence that was on. We had bank statements, 2 bank statements. We had 2 bills. We had her on the water bill, the sewer bill, the trash bill. We had 2 of each because it takes about 2 months to get that stuff going to your house. Alfredo Miranda, how long after getting the green card can we apply for the 10-year green card? You can apply for the 10-year green card 90 days before the 2-year green card expires. Here's the thing, Alfredo. Now listen very carefully, okay? Listen to me. You look at the green card, and on the green card, there's going to be an issue date and an expiration date. So on the expiration date, 90 days before it expires, you have to apply for the 10-year green card. All right? So in 21 months, at 21 months or 22 months, you must lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card. What if you don't do that? If you lift the conditions from a 2-year to a 10-year green card too early, the green card will be denied. If you try to lift the conditions off the 2-year green card past 90 days before it expires, your green card will be denied and you will be facing deportation. So look at the expiration date on the green card, the 2-year green card, minus 90 days. And in that window of time, in that 90-day window is when you must lift the conditions. And I think it's like $750 to apply for a 10-year green card. Okay? 1 year after you get the 10-year green card, after you've been in the United States legally for 3 years from the issue date on the 2-year green card, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. Okay? So Alfredo, how long after getting a green card? 2 years. Can we apply for 10-year? In 21 months of being in the United States. Larry Pierce said, you know someone. What do you mean, do I know someone? I know lots of people. Tammy, if my husband came to the United States in September 2024, do I add him on my taxes this upcoming tax season? Tammy, if you got married in 2024, you can file a joint tax return with your husband when you get your W-2s in 2025. Yes, you can file a joint tax return. Now, Tammy, when you file a joint tax return, make sure you get copies of it, okay? Because you're going to include those tax returns with your 10-year, with your husband's 10-year green card application. When Karina files for her 10-year green card in March of 2026, we're going to have 2024 tax returns in there. We're going to have 2025 tax returns in there, joint tax returns. So we're going to have a minimum of 2 joint tax returns together, which will go in her 10-year green card application. Immigration is going to look at it. Oh, okay. So they got a joint tax return together for 2 years. She had a green card for 2 years. Boom, check. They're good to go. They look for stuff like that. Do not file a tax return without including your beneficiary. Okay. If you got married in 2024, you can file a tax return as a joint taxes in 2025. If you got married, if you are waiting for your K-1 visa to get approved, and you come to the United States in 2025 and you get married in 2025, you cannot file a joint tax return with the IRS in 2026. You're going to have to wait till 2027. Let me see here. Larry Piercy, my I-485 was not, but about 2.5 to 3 inches thick. Maybe I missed something. You didn't miss anything, Larry. You just have tax-free income. That's all. Because you have totally tax-free income, immigration want to see a joint sponsor. You're good, Larry, but your income is more than enough. But immigration's looking at line 9 of your tax return, 1040. But you don't submit a 1040. So what are they going to look at? They got nothing to look at. All they got is letters saying that you don't file a tax return, which to me is good enough. But immigration is getting pretty strict on income. You know someone undercover at USCIS? I don't know anybody at USCIS. Tammy, also, most of the utility companies let you add a name on most accounts. That's true. It's only one name, or they added it as a care of. How does immigration view that? That's fine. They don't give you a negative review because of not on every. You cannot possibly put your beneficiary on everything. Okay, you do what you can do, but the biggest thing is, number one, is the income has to be sufficient, at least $4,000 to $5,000 above 125% for your family size. Okay, even though you, as a family of 2, you got to make $25,500 and something to qualify for a green card for a family of 2, which is 125% as of now. That's going to change in March of 2025. Okay, but you want to make at least $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 above that for the past 3 years, because when you file for your green card, the sponsor, the U.S. citizen, has to identify how much he or she made for the past 3 years on page 2 of the 484. And then you have to include the last year's tax return. Okay? They want to see a steady income. If you don't have it, get a joint sponsor. Dina Ali, Diego, my brother owns a business. Can he sponsor my husband? Yeah, your brother can. Absolutely. No problem. How much can he make a year to be able to sponsor? You want your brother to make, a businessman, you want him to make, as a family of 2, you want him to make at least $35,000 a year as a minimum. 40 to 50,000 would be a lot better. I would say above 25, I would say above 33, 34, 35,000. Okay? Even though it's only 25, let me give you the exact amount. But remember, this number is going to change in March of 2025. Now, under the Trump presidency, he's going to make it a lot stricter on the income. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm planning ahead. I know he's going to make it stricter. And he's going to make it harder to become a U.S. citizen. I can't find it right now. Nong Fang, NV, Holmes, good. Look at that, super chat. Thank you, Nong Fang. I hope you're selling lots of houses. Good day, Diego and Karina. Wanted to update you on my colleague's K1 visa for his fiance from Laos. Okay, she met the U.S. consulate on Monday and she passed. Woo! Mountain Dew salute. Excellent news for Nong Fang's, your colleague's K1 visa. Hopefully you helped your colleague get the process done. Mountain Dew salute. Now good job, Nong Vang, to your colleague. But I'm looking for the income right here. But this is for 2025, okay? 2024. Here's what happens. In March of next year, the income requirements is going to go up for a minimum income. Now, I don't even have it anymore. I don't know where it is, but that's okay. It's $25,500. Oh, here it is. Karina found it. 125% for a family of 2 of minimum income for a green card is $25,550. So if you make $25,550 a year, technically you qualify for the green card. But the consular officers have been given free rein to make decisions on their own. And I am seeing consular officers looking for at least $5 to $6 grand above the minimum income. So if you make $25,550, you want to make at least $31,000 or $32,000 a year to avoid getting a letter for a freaking joint sponsor. Dina Alley, your brothers can be a joint sponsor for your husband, no problem, as long as his income is sufficient. Nong Vang Envy Homes, yes, I will also assist him on his adjustment of status. Okay. Feels good to help one another. My colleague is also a Marine, so doing some good deeds. There you go. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know, I like to see people get reunited with their families, and immigration has a strict process in place, and it's going to get stricter starting after January of 2025. Starting February of 2025, it's going to get a lot stricter. The income for joint sponsors is going to get stricter. The relationship status, proving you're in a real relationship, is going to get a lot stricter. So my recommendation, now you can listen to me or not listen to me, but if you are in the process of a K-1 visa right now and you've only made one trip to see your beneficiary, I recommend you go make a second trip, get on a plane, go take a second trip to see your beneficiary. I don't care how far away it is, Thailand, Philippines, Australia, England, Colombia. Go make a second trip and put a minimum of 2 visits in your K-1 visa application. Technically, you only have to be face-to-face one time, okay? But make 2 trips. Tammy, did you say the income needs to be the same for the last 3 years? Not the same, but you know, close enough, you know, 45,000, 50,000, 51,000, doesn't have to be exact. But when you file for the green card, you're going to fill out the affidavit of support. And on page 2 of the affidavit of support is going to ask you, what was your income for the past 3 years, 2024, 2023, 2022. You have to list it. And you have to include your last tax return for 2023. So it's going to be 2020. How much money did you make in 2023, 2022, 2021? If you file for a green card tomorrow, you got to show your income for 2023, 2022, and 2021. You just have to write it in there on page 2. But you have to include your tax return for 2023, plus your tax transcripts if you have them. You should include your tax transcripts, honestly. And that'll be it. Okay. And immigration is looking for a steady income. If you made $100,000 in 2021, and then you made $30,000 in 2022, and then you made, $60,000 in 2023, immigration will add up those 3 numbers and divide it by 3. You're good to go. Okay. They get an average. And Tammy says, "Do you need the 3 years of income?" Yeah, they're gonna want to see 3 years of income. If you're filing for a K-1 visa in 2025, okay, you're going to need to show your income for 2024, 2023, and 2022. If you're filing for a green card in 2025, you're going to need to show income for 2024, 2023, 2022. Okay, you got it? When you file for your green card, make sure you have a ton of evidence in there of your relationship. Go back, include stuff from your K-1 visa pictures. Include pictures from your K-1 visa. So it's imperative that you make copies of everything. Once you've put together an excellent K-1 visa package, remember the I-129F is only 13 pages long. It's not difficult. You can fill it out as long as you can read and write and add and subtract. If you know how to read and write, you can put together a I-129F and a K-1 visa application. But make sure you make 3 copies of your K-1 visa application. One for you at your house, Mr. Sponsor. One to mail to immigration, USCIS in Louisville, Texas. And one for your beneficiary. When I flew to Colombia, when I filed for Karina's K-1 visa, I flew to Colombia with an exact copy of the K1 visa application that I mailed to Louisville, Texas. And I brought it to Colombia and said, hey, Karina, here's your K1 visa application. It was 4 albums full of stuff. And she's looking through it. I had a year's worth of chats in there in WhatsApp, broken down by day and month. Okay? I had so much evidence in that K1 visa application. And you want to make when you put the K1 visa package together, you want to make it in order of your relationship. When you started, I had the first picture. The first picture we ever took together was at El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, Colombia. And it was during COVID. And I had this big old stupid face mask on. And Karina had her face mask on. Why? Because we were told we had to wear it by the freaking government. I wasn't allowed to get on a plane without a face mask. Okay. I said, well, how am I supposed to eat my freaking pretzels? They said, well, you can pull your face mask down to eat your pretzels. I said, okay. So what if I catch COVID while I'm eating my pretzels? They said, you probably won't. I said, okay, well, if I'm not going to get it while I'm eating my pretzels, why do I got to wear a face mask? Well, because the U.S. government says you got to wear a face mask. I said, well, how about the Colombian government? Well, I'm on an American Airlines flight, so I had to follow by FAA rules. It was stupid. Seriously. I mean, and then, so the first picture I got with it was with face, and then I'm in Colombia with Karina, and we went to the Gold Museum in Bogota. I want to go to the Gold Museum. So they told us we had to wear a face mask in the Gold Museum. I said, why? There's like 5 people in here. Why gotta wear? They said, because that's the rule of the Colombian government. The mayor of Bogota. The mayor of Bogota. Man, I'm so glad she is no longer the mayor. There's a new person now. So I'm trying to, do you know how hard it is to breathe with a freaking face mask? It was insane. But we went through the Gold Museum and I took my mask off to take a picture. And this security guy, oh, you got to put your mask on. I said, no, dude, I'm taking a picture. Go play over there. He said, no, you got to put your mask on. I said, okay, whatever. Man, I tell you, it was insane. I'm so glad those days are gone. So, Noam Vang, I agree with you. Immigration will get stricter. But if you provide the details, the best details, and use the most updated USCIS forms to have a super strong case, no reason they can deny you. That's right. Noam Vang Envy Homes is correct. If you put together number one, you got to qualify for the K1 visa, Mr. American Citizen, Miss Beneficiary. You got to qualify for the benefit. So what are the qualifications? You got to meet each other at least once, face to face. You got to make enough money. You got to be medically cleared. You can't have a bad criminal record. Okay? You got to be in a real relationship. I would say date each other for at least a year. Have a year's worth of evidence of dating each other. Make 2 trips to see each other. I mean, before you file for the K1. And then make a 3rd trip, and then a 4th trip. And when you go to the K1 visa interview, you're going to have 4 trips to see your beneficiary. It's going to get stricter and stricter and stricter. Francois, good night. Good night, Francois. We're getting hungry. A little bit. Dina Alley. Diego, last question. Like I said, my friend makes $25K a year. Can I add another friend? Yes. You can have 2 joint sponsors. You can have a primary and a secondary. You can do 2 joint sponsors. There's no problem with that. But Dina Alley, we're putting pixie dust all over that green card application. Okay? And I want to put pixie dust all over Larry Piercy, because he told me he's going to Disney World during Christmas week when all the children are on vacation. And I want to give everybody a Mountain Dew salute. Nang Vang Envy Homes, thank you for that super chat. You get a Mountain Dew salute. Huh? And Larry Piercy said, boo. Larry, Halloween's over with. Okay? Larry, Halloween was over in October. No Dixie dust. You don't like, what's wrong with Dixie dust? What's wrong with pixie dust? This is good luck. Peter Pan didn't want to grow up, right? And he had pixie dust. Dina Alley. So one of my friends shows 2023 and the other 2024. Okay? As long as the income is good. Larry Piercy. Very strange, Diego. Peter Pan is Disney before Disney went crazy. Disney used to be, the videos, the movie, the Disney movies that came out of Disney used to be fantastic. I remember when I was a little kid going to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But now I won't go. Disney has gone crazy. The movies they make now suck. I wouldn't even go watch. I wouldn't pay good money to go and watch a Disney movie today in 2024. But I remember when I was a little kid going with my aunt, going to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Bambi. Everybody remembers Bambi, right? The deer, mom got killed in the forest fire. Disney cannot make a movie today. Larry Piercy, my friend, runs around with pixie dust. No, I don't. I put pixie dust as good luck for people to get their green cards, and it works. And their K1 visas are approved also. Dina, I'll get you in for free to Disney World, Disneyland. Disneyland is in California, right? And Disney World is in where? Orlando. But you said you can get us into free for Disneyland, which is in California, right? Well, we appreciate that. Oh, I believe you, Dina Alley. I don't just doubt it at all. If you can get guest passes for family members, that's awesome. We appreciate that. We'd love to do that. Where does she work? Disneyland is in California, right? And Disney World. Go to California. Go to California, Diego. Just let me know when. Okay, Dina, we'll do that. But you got to, California. There you go. Let me see here. And I don't run around with pixie dust, Larry. I just make sure I use it because it works. Rooster, medical done at the embassy interview done, just waiting on the visa. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute to Rooster. Now, Rooster, you got to remind everybody, what country are we talking about? I'm out of Mountain Dew. Look at that. What country, Rooster? And Dina Alley, we'll definitely take you up on a free ticket to Disney World or Disneyland, excuse me. We can go to California. I'm going to take Corinne to Las Vegas. Now, what's the deal? People ask me, can I travel in the United States while I'm waiting for my green card? Yes, you can. But don't leave the United States. You can travel within the United States with your passport. Okay. So if you're waiting for your green card, if you don't have a green card yet, and you want to go on vacation somewhere, you can travel within the United States. I would watch out for going to Alaska and going to Hawaii because the Philippines, that's correct. I knew that, but not everybody knows that, Rooster. Congratulations, Rooster. If you want to go on vacation to Alaska, I wouldn't recommend it now. It's freaking 40 degrees below zero. Okay. I wouldn't recommend going to Alaska because if you have an in-flight emergency and the plane has to land in Canada, then your beneficiary doesn't have a green card and he or she is in a foreign country without a green card. So if you could get stuck in Canada, for example. So I would not travel to Alaska or to Hawaii while you're waiting. You're booked, and Dina Alley, oh no, tonight I'm booking to Hawaii, going to take my husband. Hawaii, I would say is okay. If you have, an in-flight emergency, the plane would probably return to Los Angeles. If you're going to fly to Hawaii, you're going to fly out of LAX. So if there's a plane problem, you got to return to. You're going to be able to fly back to California. But flying to Alaska, you have to fly over Canada. So if there's a problem with the plane flying over freaking Canada, the pilot's going to land in Canada. And here you are with no green card, just an I-94, and you get stuck in Montreal because the plane had a problem. Don't get off the plane because the plane is U.S. territory. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? Let's see. Larry Percy, you won't go past Hardee's. At this point, Dina, oh no, tonight I'm booking Hawaii is fine. Go to Hawaii. I don't think it's a problem flying to Hawaii. This flight, you're going to fly from San Diego, you said? Okay, so you're going to fly from San Diego. You're good. Hawaii's okay. But Alaska, I would wait on until you get a green card. Is it okay to go to Hawaii with a K1? Yes, it's no problem to fly from San Diego to Hawaii on a K1 visa. It's all good. You can do that. I'm going to take Karina to Alaska, Hawaii. She wants to see Las Vegas. She wants to go to Disney World, now Disneyland. We're going to do all this, okay? And Larry says we won't go past the Hardee's. At this point, we're not going anywhere. But soon we're going to go on a trip. Dina, you're good, okay? If the plane is leaving out of San Diego, flying to Hawaii, it's all good. I would just not recommend flying to Alaska because if the plane has a problem, it has to land in Canada. You're going to be stuck in a foreign country without a green card. And that's not good. That would be an immigration issue. Okay, guys, I've been talking for 1 hour and 16 minutes. And if I don't have any more questions, now I repainted the office. I repainted the whole room. And I'm slowly putting the pictures back up. Okay, I got my UFO picture back up over here. And I got Bob Lazar. He was the guy that worked in Area 51. He signed a picture for me. I got it posted up over here. He made the design of the UFO he worked on in Area 51. Actually, S4. He never worked in Area 51. He worked in S4. He signed a picture for me. So I got my office back, getting back together after I repainted it. And Karina helped me. And Larry Piercy, what color is that? What color is what? What, the wall? Well, heck if I know. I think Home Depot created the paint. I don't know what color it is. Dina, good night, Dina. Relax. Go book that plane ticket to Hawaii. You can do it. You can go to Hawaii. If the plane has to return back someplace, it will be flying back to the United States. The walls. Yeah, I don't know what color it is. What I did was I took a picture of the color that was originally on the wall. I went to Home Depot. I said, this is the color. And the guy said, okay, we'll mix it for you. And he mixed it, and it was the exact color that was on the wall when I moved in, when I bought the house. But now it looks brand new. Look on the bucket. Okay, I will look on the bucket and tell you exactly what color it is. Because I like it. And now it's like a brand new house. I painted, Karina and we repainted the whole freaking house. And I painted all the walls, and Karina was doing the baseboards, and I used the exact color that was in the house when I bought the house. And Karina said they looked at the picture and they looked at the color, and now I got the exact. But now it looks like the wall is like all freshened up. It looks like new. The baseboards look brand new. Maybe I'll just get brand new carpets put in too. Who knows? But I got to get something to eat because I'm hungry. Today's Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. Thanks for joining us on the live stream tonight. I hope I answered some of your questions. Thanks for those super chats. We appreciate that. And we'll see you guys again. What's today? Saturday on Wednesday. But I might just jump on here during the week when Karina's at work. We'll see you guys.